Finally, see another trucker. Yeah, man, just sitting up here, man, starting out my day. Sitting in front of the license bureau. Finna get ready to go renew my license and, you know, all that good stuff. Yeah, so I'm just sitting up here waiting for them to open. But, yeah, man, other truckers don't want to see you succeed. Hey, man, have you ever had somebody with a truck, they own their own truck, tell you not to get a truck? You ever had somebody tell you that? You know, I can't really recall coming across somebody with a truck that told me not to get a truck. I can't really recall that, but I could definitely recall, you know, being in conversations with people along the way and bringing up the idea of getting your own truck, or me getting my own truck, or even asking people like, why don't you get your own truck? You know, bringing that up, and all I ever got was negative backlash. That's all I ever got. Why would you want to do that? Nah, I'm cool, man. You know. So, after a while, I just realized, like, man, you know what? You can't really even talk to people. Or at least the people that I didn't came around, you know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody else's journey in this shit and the people that, you know, you probably didn't came around was different. But I just know when I was talking to people about getting a truck, I just never came across people who was on that same frequency. That's crazy too. You know what I'm saying? Even when I first came in the industry, going through CDL school, I'm thinking like, shit, that's what we all here for, right? That's gonna be part. That's gonna be a tool in part of our end game, right? Getting a truck. Shit. I've been in the workforce for 25 years. I mean, I'm thinking like, shit, we getting, you know, we coming into an industry to where we have the option to put ourselves in a position to take control of our lives, so to speak, in trucking. You know, like I always say, the beauty about trucking, you can do this shit how you want to do it. So I'm thinking like, well, shit, we coming in the industry to where we leaving working regular jobs, or, you know, wherever you coming from, we got the option to get into something where we can kind of control our own destiny. So that's how I came in the game, thinking like, yeah, we getting our own trucks, right? You gonna get your own truck one day? I'm out here campaigning for people getting their trucks. I don't know shit about having no truck. I just knew I was gonna get my own goddamn truck. I knew that for a fact. It wasn't even no doubt in my mind. But I just realized from that time to now, man, you really can't talk to a lot of people about certain things, especially when it comes to things that's above what certain people's frequency is at. And a lot of people don't want no truck. A lot of people don't want their own truck. And that's cool, you know. But you also have a lot of people, just because they don't want their own shit, they'll try to talk down on you getting your own shit. You know what I'm saying? They won't encourage you to go and get your own truck. You know, you bring up the conversation about getting your own truck, they ask you, well, why you want to do that? You know, hey, man, I'm cool doing what I'm doing. Why you want to do that? Huh. You know. See, it's one thing to tell somebody not to do something because you can't do it, but it's also another thing to encourage, even though you know something is not for you, to still be able to encourage somebody else to go do what they want to do. And I just never came across those type of people in this industry, man. It was like I say, man, the only friend I got is OG. Is my mentor, you know what I'm saying? The only person that I talk to in trucking on the regular since I've been in trucking. That's the only person I ever knew with their own truck that pushed me to get my own truck. Even though I knew I was gonna get my own truck, but just the way, you know what I'm saying, when I met him, and just the way that he pushed me to get my own shit, you know what I'm saying? I never really met too many people like that, man. Really, there's a lot of people that really don't want to see you with your own shit. It's people that don't want to see you eating out here. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people in this trucking industry with a scarcity mindset. Real shit. It's a lot of people out here that don't want to see you get to the money. There's a lot of people that don't want to see you being more successful than them. You know, it's a lot of people out here that tried to get their own truck, or that tried to do the lease, or tried to be an owner operator and failed. And because they failed, they automatically try to put that shit on you. You know, that's one thing that I ain't never done. Even me going through hardships. You know what I'm saying? Like shit, from October, let me see, it's been almost probably about a year. It's been going, it's been about a year since I've been consistently making content. And you know, most of my content has really just been about like the intensity of me putting context to my experience of being responsible for my own equipment. And, you know, no matter how much pain that I have went through, or, you know what I'm saying, just me talking about things that I've experienced with me going through it, with me having my own truck, I never tell people not to get their own truck. I always talk to people like, when you get your truck, when, you know what I'm saying? It's a form of psychology. We put it in people's heads. When you get your own truck, this is what you gotta be prepared for. You know what I'm saying? I tell people what I'm transparent with certain things. Even though sometimes the transparency shit on the internet, it really be working against you and sometimes, because you ain't got nothing but a bunch of people. They don't know how to receive the blessing. They just sitting back, just waiting for you to lose. They sitting back, watching what you say. They waiting for you to fall. They scrutinizing everything that you doing and you saying. They counting your pockets. You know what I'm saying? So being transparent sometimes can be a gift and a curse, but I don't mind about being transparent about certain things because my foundation's solid. So I'm not worried about silly internet shit. So when I tell people my business, it's really me sharing a blessing. You know what I'm saying? People take it how they want to take it, but that's really me sharing blessings with people who want to know about certain things. Because a lot of people don't be putting context to shit. But no matter the case, though, I never tell people not to get their own truck. I want you to get a truck. I tell people, when you get a truck, this is what you have to look out for. You know, my main thing is preparation, being prepared. This is just my thing. This is what I've learned and how moving forward. Okay, I done went through this. I see how this go. Okay, cool. I know how to move. You know what I'm saying? I know what I need to do. And then, you know, at the same time, you just rolling with the punches, because sometimes you can have a plan and things just, you know, sometimes some circumstances is just out of your control, but what you can control is how you respond to certain shit. So, yeah, man. You know, I always tell, you know, my thing is I put this shit out there so when you think and it's time for you to go get a truck, you can do it better than me. You can make better decisions than I did. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not tripping, because I'm going to be straight regardless. I'm good. And I'm going to be good, because that's just the way my mindset works. So, yeah, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Going through it, even when I had to go get a one box, that's probably, yeah, I had another expense that was costly, just as close to that one box. But that one box was a costly expense. Still, you know what I'm saying? I still was the one putting up no white flag telling people, don't get no truck. Don't get no truck. Hell no. Hey, if you just say, hey, this truck that I chose, this is what I got to deal with. Maybe you can do something better. Maybe you can go get you a cash truck. You know what I'm saying? If you're paying attention to what I'm kicking in this content, you can pick up on shit. So, yeah, I ain't never told nobody not to get no truck, even in the worst of time. We just talking about I talk about preparation, because this is how I think. You know, if I get caught slipping again, one time, I don't ever want to get caught slipping again. I just noticed from my experience with how I like shit and this trucking shit, I like to be prepared. So That's my thing. But even at the same time, though, even at the same time, you can listen to me, take my advice. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and do no reckless shit. I'm not, just know, if you watch my channel, you know what I stand on, primarily. But hey, even sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? You might be like, man, fuck all that trying to wait years to save money and all this. And I mean, that's how you feel. That's cool. You know, you might have just enough to get into the game. And I'm with you. Because sometimes you got to roll the dice. Even, you know what I'm saying? I've rolled the dice. It don't matter what happened, what didn't go right, what I overpaid. It didn't. None of that shit matters. The matters is I had the nuts to roll the dice. A lot of these people that always got something to say, they don't got no nuts. They don't got no backbone. They don't got no cojones to do shit but talk and be on the internet analyzing everybody else. So at least I had the nuts to roll the dice. So if you got to roll the dice, then fuck it. Just know, if shit don't go your way, it's cool. Because I'm not going to be the one that's going to stand there and be like, hey, man, I told you so. I told you so. No, I'm going to be like, okay, well, you see what time it is. Now it's time to, let's go back to the drawing board. And if you got the nerve again, you start this shit all over. That way you know how to come back. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be the one that say, well, I told you. I don't care about being right. I don't have to be Mr. Right. Because like I always say, I really don't know shit. So, yeah, that's that. So yeah, man, yeah, even if you got to go against what I'm talking about, hey, I ain't going to judge you. You know what I'm saying? Do you? Because, hey, we got to walk our own journeys. Everything, a lot of people try to make a lot of shit in this trucking shit seem like it's just all across the board the same for everybody. The only thing that we all doing that's the same is sitting behind these commercial vehicles, sitting in the wheel, driving and making deliveries. That's the only thing that's relative. But what you choose to do, which way, how you choose to go, how you think, how you manage money, all your life setup, all this shit is different. Is different variables to this shit for each person. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry, but everybody is not doing the same shit in life. The shit a person got going on outside of trucking, that shit affects your trucking. You know what I'm saying? You can't manage money, that shit gonna affect your trucking. You know what I'm saying? You got a fucked up home situation, that shit gonna affect your trucking. You got people who around you who ain't on your team, and you know what I'm saying? Shit going on, keep you stressed out, that shit gonna affect your trucking. Your health gonna affect your trucking, all different type of variables. So everything is not the same. To me, even like I've said this before, like I don't believe in classes. I don't believe in the battle of the classes. I believe it's all mindset. Everything is mindset. You know, poor class, middle class, the rich. If being in a certain class was a set thing, then it wouldn't be no such thing as these stories that we hear of people that went from rags to riches. It would be that phrase wouldn't even exist. You know what I'm saying? People pull themselves up out of poverty to wealth all the time. And because of what? Mindset, for the most part. Besides having a talent or some shit like that, mindset. So even in this trucking, everything is about mindset. If your mindset fucked up, your trucking gonna be fucked up, period. So, hey man, I'm with you. Whatever you decide to do, because one thing I do believe, I believe in rolling the dice. You know, I believe in preparation. I'm gonna always, somebody come and say, man, I got this amount of money. You know, let's just say if you got just enough to go get you a truck from Lone Mountain or some shit like that. I may not agree with how much money that you got. I might feel like it ain't enough. You know what I'm saying? But you say you ready to do that shit, all right. You know what I'm saying? I just hope that you man or you woman enough to just, you know, be able to will yourself to rise to the occasions as they come and be willing to deal with that shit. And Like I say, man, I'm not gonna be the one to say I told you so. You gonna if I done told you something that didn't happen to me, and it didn't happen to you, and you be like, damn, man, I remember what he told me. That just you hearing my voice in your head gonna be me saying I told you so, without me saying I told you so. You know what I'm saying? If you gonna keep it real with yourself, just like when I bought my truck. It was a content creator that I was watching at the time. It was between 2021, 22. This particular content creator was like, whatever you do, don't buy no truck right now. Price is too high. It's ridiculous. Don't get no truck. What I do? It wasn't right after he said that, but it was probably like within the same year. I went and got my truck. Bad timing. You know what I'm saying? I went against what he said, and it's funny now. I think about when I watched this live that this person did, and he was saying this shit is always repeating in my head. Like, damn, I remember when such and such said, "Don't get no truck. This ain't the right time." You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like I can hear him saying, "I told you so," but he ain't. You know what I'm saying? This person don't know me, but still, I hear his voice because he said it. Don't get no truck. I went against it anyway, so. I got the sense enough to like, damn, Playboy was right. But it is what it is. We here now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of negativity in the trucking industry, man. A lot of people ain't gonna want to see you win. A lot of people, they're not gonna be able to see you doing shit past what they see themselves doing. You got a lot of that in trucking, man. A lot. Since I've been in this trucking industry, I'm talking about shit that I didn't experience in real life. Even shit that you see on social media, man, it's a lot of negativity, bro. A lot. You just gotta stay focused. Keep a game plan. Me, yeah, it's just man, you just gotta keep your head on straight, dog. You just gotta keep your head on straight. Know what you want to do. That's what I always say. You gotta have a plan in this shit. You know what I'm saying? Having a plan is a blueprint for how to move. You know, everything might not go your way, but it's a blueprint for how to move. You know, even me having a plan. I knew what type of people I wanted to be around and what type of people I did not want to be around. I know a lot of people in this trucking shit are negative people. A lot of people do not want. I just always thought when I came in this shit, I thought we was all supposed to be getting our own trucks. That's what I thought. You know, now that I got some experience with being responsible for my own equipment, I now can understand why a lot of people don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? I understand why a lot of people don't even want to deal with that responsibility, because it's a hell of a responsibility. Having your own truck. And that's why I speak on, hey, maybe not having, you know, I understand that. I'm able to look at shit from all angles. That's why I always say, hey, you can do damage with a good job too. As long as you got a plan, depending on what you're trying to do. But me, I'm here for sovereignty. I didn't come into trucking to live the rest of my career working for somebody. That's just me. And that's the frequency that I'm moving on. So, but yeah, you're gonna have a lot of people, man, that don't want to see you grow past them. A lot of people that's gonna try to put, like I always say, man, people only put onto other people what they can or what they can't see in themselves. You know, in another video, I made a point about this clip that I've seen with this older veteran trucker being interviewed. It was a quick clip. Guy said he was an owner operator for 40 years. And he said at the current time right now, he bringing home $4,700 a month. He bringing home $4,700 a week. Now, he didn't say whether that was gross or net. We don't even, you know what I'm saying? I didn't see what division that he was in or none of that. But as far as net, I know that can be a real number. And I'm just going to assume, since this guy has been an owner operator for 40 years, that he didn't found his niche. He got his shit together to where he can possibly bring in that type of money a week. And I noticed in the comment section of that clip, a lot of people didn't believe that type of money can be made net. You know what I'm saying? I seen everybody, a lot of people up in there trying to figure out, oh, well, he said he making this. He ain't took the fuel out. He ain't did this. He ain't did that. He lying and all this shit. You know, even when I spoke on it in one of the videos that I made, somebody in the comment section said that they just don't believe that type of number is possible. And you know what? Keep believing that, because you will never see them numbers. That's what you tell yourself. You will never see them numbers then. Because I always knew, even in the beginning, when I could barely make a couple $100 as a rookie a week, I knew these numbers existed. When that man said he made $4,700 a week, like I said, I didn't know if he meant gross or net, but I know net. Them the real numbers. Them real numbers, Jack. But if you don't believe that those numbers exist, then you will never see that money. Stay where you at. Stay where you at. Yes, those numbers are real. After everything. Maybe if he got, you know what I'm saying, when you get that type of money net, it's still your responsibility with how you do your taxes and shit like that. But just as far as like your immediate expenses, or whether you leased on to somebody, your deductions, fuel, and all the different type of shit, that's a possibility. This is why I always put it on myself. I don't know everything about trucking. I don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And in this case, $4,700 a week, I know for a fact, on my soul, those are real numbers. Those are possible numbers in trucking. But you can't say those numbers don't exist just because you ain't seen it. You know what I'm saying? So you'll have a lot of people like that, man, that'll try to put limitations on other people just because in your journey, just because you haven't experienced certain things, you think that it's just relative across the board, and it's not true. That's how I always keep myself in check. You know, sometimes when it comes to this trucking shit, man, or anything in life, period, but especially we talking about this trucking, sometimes, bro, instead of acting like you know everything about trucking when you only did a couple things, sometimes you just gotta really just sit back and just shut the fuck up and let the wisdom come to you. Just let it come to you. One thing that I always knew how to do, one thing they used to teach us when I used to work in the casino industry as a craps dealer, they always used to tell us, just dummy up and deal. Dummy up and deal means don't argue with nobody. Don't try to explain. If you fuck up, don't try to explain yourself. If you fuck up and somebody get on your ass, well, it could be a player, or whether your teammates, your co-workers is helping you. Don't be trying to explain and come up with rebuttals. Just shut the fuck up and deal the damn dice. Shut the fuck up, make the corrections, and do what you got to do. That's what they call it, dummy up and deal. So I already had that skill set. I mean, I'm just that type of person anyway. I ask for wisdom, so I know how to shut the fuck up and receive it. But coming into trucking, I did the same thing. I didn't have no opinion. I still don't really have. I only got an opinion mostly on what I've experienced. I can't tell. Like, some people be asking me, what's the best company? A lot of shit I don't know. I only work, as far as me being an owner operator with Tanker Hazmat, I only work for one company. You know what I'm saying? I worked for one company when I did pneumatic trailer. I worked for one company when I did hazmat in the box truck. I worked for one company when I did over the road dry van. I don't have a whole lot of experience like in a bunch of different companies. I don't have a whole bunch of experience in a bunch of mega carriers. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm still learning. I can only talk about what I know to talk about. But one thing I do know about this shit for a fact is mindset, having a vision, and staying down. I know that for a fact. Being disciplined, being willing to work hard. Yeah, as far as the lifestyle of trucking, yeah, I know all about that. I'm all game for it, because I've been doing this shit with no complaints. no depression, none of that. Yeah, we all have our bad days, but I ain't never been through none of that. Just keeping it a hundo. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that I don't have issues in life, but as far as like trucking, trucking ain't never broke me down like that. So, yeah, I know all about that. The mindset you gotta have to be able to deal with shit. That's why, like, I always, at different points of time, I've spoken a positive outlook on how to look at going OTR, how you can really use that shit to elevate your life. OTR don't have to be the end of the world. It don't have to be a jail sentence. It's all about how you look at shit, mindset. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, you gotta, you have a plan. When you standing on something firm, man, you got a vision. You know what you want to do. You know why. I'm telling you, man, when you know why you coming into this shit, when you know why you doing what you doing up in this trucking shit, man, the better off you will be. The more solid you gonna be. The more you gonna be able to see yourself to get to where you want to be in this shit. But when you coming in this shit and you just out here just kind of willy-nilly, man, it's easy to get lost. I ain't never been lost. I just always stayed down. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mind telling people my fuck-ups, because that shit my foundation in real life is too solid. I don't give a fuck about silly shit on the internet. Like I say, you know what I'm saying? This internet shit, making shit on YouTube, this some shit I had to get used to. Especially when people start coming to the channel and looking, you know what I'm saying? Then the trolls came. Because at first, I wasn't getting no views like that. It wasn't really a whole lot of people looking at my shit. I'm just sitting up here kicking it like the same way I do now. And then what's that one video I made? Trucking ain't what you think it is, or some trucking ain't what you thought. One of that, yeah, something like that. And that video got a lot of views. And around that time, that's when people started coming in, and I made a video about social media destroyed trucking, and a video about trucking left me broke. You know what I'm saying? Around that time, people started coming in, watching the videos and shit, and came the trolls. The trolls come, you know what I'm saying? And I used to respond to the trolls. I called myself responding to them at first in the beginning, but then I had to catch and check myself real quick. You know what I'm saying? Because who am I to think that I can't be harassed by trolls? You know what I'm saying? Who am I to sit up here and go back and forth? For what? For what? You know what I'm saying? So even with that, you just got to know your standpoint. Like, you got to be strong enough to overlook shit. Like, a troll can't fuck with me in real life. I know just by when I look at trolls, like even right now, man, I don't trip on nothing that they talking about, nothing that they doing in the comment section. I don't even try to block they shit. I let them run free. I let them bounce their ass in the comment section. I don't, for what? Have dialogue with these people for what? Because one thing I can tell about a lot of these people that be calling themselves trying to troll, I can tell like some of these people already got mental issues. Just by looking at the type of shit, just by how they carry themselves, they think they getting off. Just in general, not just in my comment section, but a lot of trolls, they think they be getting off in people's shit when they really don't be doing nothing but telling on themselves. You can't put no face to them a lot of times. But it's like when people say certain shit like, fam, I know you. I know what type of person you are. So I'm not even, you know what I'm saying? Let them have it. But that's the problem with trucking, man. There are more people who are waiting to see you fall than people that are willing to lift you up in this shit. You'll have pockets of people that'll be rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? You have very few. The number of genuine people in trucking is few compared to the numbers of people that don't want to see you make it, or people that's on negative shit, or people that's just, you say something, people is waiting to say, oh, that's not real. So I don't believe that. People waiting to see you fall. You know what I'm saying? Or you share some game through your personal business. People want to hold shit against you. All that different type of shit, man. Like, the negativity in trucking is outrageous, but you got to stay strong. You know what I'm saying? Stand firm. Know why you out here. And I guarantee you, when you know why you out here and you have a plan, none of this other bullshit is gonna matter. It's all gonna be a bunch of noise. So take that as you will. Bonnie C, another truck. I hope you got something from this. Gone.